Oh, we're good.
All right.
We're rocking. Okay.
Then you want me to count you in?
Yes, sir. I'm ready to rock.
Okay, here we go. Three, two, one. That was
I
that was the
oh
world's worst countdown in points. I'm so
no.
sorry.
I forgot. I didn't scroll to the top of the screen, so it's all good. But this is what the people are listening for.
Should we start
Uh
again, or are you good?
no, we're
Okay.
just gonna let it go.
Okay.
Hola, everyone, and welcome to Off the Cut episode 31. We're up in Canada. Today is known as Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. But here in Ohio, today is respectfully dedicated to the food of the day. Also,
Um,
my high school nickname,
oh.
white chocolate.
Oh, nice. I like that.
No, that wasn't my nickname. We've talked about nicknames in the past, and that was
Yes.
not one of them.
Yes. Big Bird. Big Bird.
Big Bird. I like white chocolate though.
I was listening to a podcast today, and the two guests were talking about, they were like, we all have to accept the fact that if Big Bird was a real creature, we would have to kill him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, of course. Because he not only is I mean, he's obviously a pedo hanging around the kids.
that was literally the first thing that I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
like, big.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking it up.
you would have to lock him up or you would have to kill him. There's no option about it.
Big Bird pedophile.
Oh, because
Nothing
Sesame.
really comes up.
Okay, Sesame Street was like live action. Like there really was a person in a costume that was Big Bird, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if
Um,
that guy or girl is listening to this podcast, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disparage you.
yeah, apparently that's a whole conspiracy. So yeah, let's not add to that because
Okay,
I
okay.
know nothing about this person.
Oh, I got an
I
inside.
honestly I don't even think like I know of Sesame Street, but I
Mhm.
don't think I ever like really sat down and watched it.
No, no. I mean, I watched a couple seasons a couple years ago. I got pretty into it for a bit there, but no, just kidding. I never
I was like "Wait, are you kidding
no,
for a
no,
second?"
no.
Got the
I
Disney
never
Plus
watched it
thing and you're like, "I gotta
as a kid either. There were a couple kids shows that I was like not into, like the Muppets. I never got into.
yeah,
People
no."
love Muppets. I don't know. Yeah, I never got into any
Like
of that
Looney
stuff.
Tunes? I never got into that. Miranda
I
thinks that's like a mortal sin.
Yeah, I did watch quite a bit of Looney Tunes. I enjoyed those. What other ones are there? There's Animaniacs. That's like a little bit later generation. I feel like the Looney Tunes is nice because it's like it's kind of retro. Like
Yeah.
it might have come out like in the mid '80s or something like that. I don't know. What are some other good kids shows?
I never really did like the Cartoon Network. I was more of a Nickelodeon kind of guy. So like
Okay,
I
okay.
know of
Like
like the
Doug and
yeah.
yeah, and what's the
Like
other one? Hey,
Rocket Power, Rugrats, Hey Arnold.
yes, okay, yeah. I don't know Rocket Power. That's new to me.
No?
Yeah, no.
Oh man, it's like an extreme sports
Oh.
like kids cartoon thing. It was
Okay,
pretty
okay,
cool.
okay. Well, there's a little bit of an age differential between us too. So
True.
that like I feel like those are like big years and like those cartoon shows only have like
Yeah.
very short runs. So if it's not on when you're the right age, then you've probably just never heard of it, right?
Yeah, or you'd have been like, "Oh, that's a kid show." Or like, "Oh, yeah, that's a teenager show. I didn't watch that."
Yeah, it's so funny when you're like 9 years old and then there's like a kid that there's like a show that's aimed at 6 year olds. You're like, oh, that's for babies. Like
Right. But then, like, now it's like I have friends that are, anywhere from 25 to 50,
yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
it's like it doesn't matter, right?
Hmm, hmm.
Like, you just kinda go and you just chat with people and like, "Yeah, you're a little bit older than me, but, like, I don't care,"
Yeah. Well, you need
right?
some sort of bridge to like I mean, woodworking and building is a great bridge and there's like a lot of
Yeah,
people of different ages who do it, right? So, as long as you have something to talk about, I feel
right.
like yeah. Yeah.
And that's where, like, for me, like, the biggest age gap, I guess, is centered around similar interests. So like
Yeah.
guys on my hockey team, there was a kid who was 19 on our hockey team, and then our oldest guy, I don't he's probably in his 50s.
Mhm.
So it's like you get a huge breadth of ages of people,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Actually, it was funny. I was talking to my like I guess my apprentice. He's not formally an apprentice, but he's like a young guy who works for me, and he's a big hockey player and so is my dad, and they
Okay.
play in the same league. So
Sure, sure.
he's like 21 or 22. My dad's gonna be 60 in a couple months. So it's like it's a
Yeah.
big range of players in that game, and he's not even the oldest player. There's like 70-year-olds that they play with.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's people all over the place.
Mhm.
And if I'm 50 to 70 and I can still be active enough to play hockey, dude, I'm gonna be excited.
Heck yeah. Well, I mean, if as long as you keep playing, I feel like that's like a
It
it's
just keeps you loose.
exactly. It's like the taking the 20 years off. It's like that's what does it to you. But as long as you
Yeah.
keep playing, I feel like you just got to use it or you lose it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I took like a year off from high school to college and I just like didn't. I was like, well, where do I play? Because
Yeah.
like I don't have enough time to play
Yeah.
collegiate hockey. So I was like, I guess I was fine like a rec league. But that like year off that I took, oh, dude, I lost so much skill.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all the
But
hand-eye coordination, but you get that stuff back pretty quick too,
yeah,
I feel
it
like.
is what it is. It is
Yeah.
what it is. Well, let's see. We got a lot of announcements to make.
Yeah, you want to power through some announcements?
Let's power through some announcements.
Okay.
First things, I did want to tell you in person,
Mhm.
Zach. I realized I canceled my Patreon thing to you
Yeah,
because
I thought wait, I was gonna save that for the grievance section.
no, oh yeah, you want to air grievance? I was
Yeah.
like, because I realized I was like, yeah, happy to support you, but I was like, but now we're doing this podcast
I know,
together, and
no,
now it's just a revolving door. And I was like, how do I
totally,
like?
totally. No,
I
no,
got my T-shirt. I don't
yeah,
need to support this dick anymore.
yeah.
No, but I wanted to tell you because I was like, oh yeah, I should probably like. There's really no point because it's just like
I
I'm
saw the
paying.
little notification. I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, what that was
What an
ridiculous that
asshole,
we were doing that.
dude. I like honestly like I felt bad. I was like, oh, I don't know. I was
Mm-mm.
like, no, I mean, we're working on a venture together. Like it
Yes.
doesn't matter,
Yes,
right?
yes. I didn't depend
Um,
on that the $20 or $25 that I got from your Patreon every month.
yeah, yeah, right. So well, I'm glad that you're not heavily grievanced about that.
No, no, not at
Um,
all.
Other announcements, and these are all working titles. So I
Mhm.
actually did this without asking you, but I think you'll find it funny and get where I'm going with
Okay.
this. So I'm I renamed the tiers on Patreon.
Oh, okay. Because
Okay.
I saw. Okay, well, I'm keep going, keep going. I'm sure you're
Okay.
about to explain some questions that I had.
So for everybody who doesn't know, patreon.com/off the cut podcast.
Oh,
There's a link in the
it's
description.
the place to be. It's a
It's the
we
place to be.
Yeah, we've been posting. Actually, you know what? I've been meaning to post it. Corey's been sending me photos of his girlfriend or his partner putting, I don't know if his wife or whatever, putting toilet paper in weird places, and then I took a bunch of photos of my girlfriend putting toilet paper in weird places. So, so I've been meaning to post those on the Patreon for a little bit.
So we got a funny community. We got a lot of banter going on,
Yeah.
and I mean, I guess the biggest driver is that you get access to the after show. So you basically double your podcasting pleasure.
Hmm.
And we don't make any money doing this podcast whatsoever,
Yeah.
other than the people who support us on Patreon,
Yes.
which we talked last week that we want to basically just put all of that money towards somehow growing the podcast. Still working on how to do that. So
Yeah, actually, you know what, listeners, if you have any ideas of like things, because we get, I don't know what it is, maybe a couple $100.
several hundred.
Yeah, and we're like, what can we do with this money that would grow the
Yeah.
podcast? So if you got any ideas, shoot them at us. We're open
Yeah.
to suggestion because we don't, I don't know. Eric and
Yeah,
I
this
are,
is for you. Like
yeah.
this is for the listeners.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like, should we hire a thumbnail artist to do better YouTube live stream thumbnails? Should we do
I
some
don't know.
ads on Instagram? I don't know. Shoot us some ideas. What would you guys like? How could we improve quality? All these things.
How can we make this a better listening experience for you guys?
Yeah.
I truly don't care about making this profitable for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great if it could be, but that is not the number one pressing matter in this.
Yes. Yeah. I want to create the best podcast possible. So give us suggestions of how we can do that.
Right, right. So anyway, decided to rename the tiers on Patreon. And again, you get access to the after show. First tier is you get access to the after show and then the banter that we've got on going on Patreon.
Mhm.
That's only $3 a month,
Mhm.
which is
Which I
pretty damn low.
that's like the lowest suggest like Patreon tells you like don't go any lower than $3, I think, right?
Yeah, and because Patreon also takes a fee out of it too. So
Yes,
like
yeah.
you lose a lot of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
um so these are what we call our Odie's oil fans that are going to
Okay.
be in the tier 1.
Yeah, okay. So is the idea to like call it the Odie's oil tier so that it motivates people to move up to the next rung?
It's exactly
Okay.
exactly what it's there for. The next tier, and again, I'm open to name suggestions, are the rigid fans.
Oh,
People who are fans of rigid,
yeah.
slightly better than Odie's oil,
Mm-hmm.
but not much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we have our apprentices,
Oh.
and our apprentices get a sticker, off the cut sticker, and priority answering to any questions. So if you got questions that come in, we're going to get to those ones first. Um, the next tier is our caulkers,
Okay.
and the caulkers get a off the cut T-shirt sent to them in whatever size, whatever they wear. It's actually a super nice T-shirt. The Patreon T-shirts are real nice.
Yeah, I need to get some of the Patreon t-shirts. I guess I'll have to become like a patron or we'll figure it out.
No, there's a email address that you can
Oh,
write to,
okay, sweet.
and uh, they either give it to you at like cost or something.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect.
It's really weird how you do it though, but like your Patreon shirt that you got that you
Mhm.
sent me, it's super nice. It's super thick, super soft. It's a great shirt.
I actually found that same shirt from another supplier, bought it as a sample, and then I
Mhm.
was like, okay, this is nice. Like, yeah, I'll sign off on
Yeah,
this. Yeah.
yeah. So oh, and the Cockers, they get a T-shirt and they get a shout out on every single episode. So
Okay.
if you like to hear us butcher your name, we got you.
Mhm.
Next tier are our Power Cockers. Okay,
That's where I thought you were going.
and you get everything that we talked about before, plus you get an off the cut mug, and once a quarter we'll have a video chat with Zach and I, and
Oh,
everybody who's a power cocker gets to join that video chat, and we'll just talk for 20 minutes, half hour, or something like that.
I like it.
And then the next tier is the VIP. Is you get everything we talked about before, plus a sweatshirt, and then you get once a quarter a private video chat with Zach and I. So it'll be just the three of us, right?
Okay,
So,
I like
but
it.
you like those names? What do you think? Should we change
Uh,
any of the names?
the only one I would say would be a VIP. Like, can we humorify the VIP one a little bit, or can we make VIP stand for something humorous?
I like where you're going with this.
Very important power cocker.
I
VIPC.
like that. The VIPC.
VC.
Very
Um.
important. I like that.
Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
World's biggest power cockers. I don't know.
Maybe we can
I
have. This is just spitballing. Maybe we could have
Mhm.
the one of the VIPCs be like a guest on the after show or something like that.
Ooh, that could potentially be fun.
Might be
I
kind
like
of
that idea.
yeah, it might be kind of hard to do the scheduling, but we can figure it out.
Well, we'll come across that when somebody becomes a VIPC.
Okay, okay.
I like that.
Well, I did notice that one of our patrons already upgraded to one of the tiers.
Well, you're getting ahead of me.
Okay. Okay. I'll slow down.
So anyway, new this week, we got two Odie's Oil fans.
Whew.
These people love Odie's Oil. We
Mm.
got Doug Yoder and Ben Price.
I saw
And
those.
yeah. And we got a rigid fan
Ooh.
that came in. Rigid fanboy, Tyler Valentine.
Is that?
Okay.
Are you sure that's the correct pronunciation?
No, I'm not, but that's what I'm going to go with. And Craig upgraded from being an Odie's Oil fan, and he is now a rigid fan. So
Okay.
he's stepping up in the world.
Nice.
And we have our cockers, which are Corey Duvall and Scotty Eastman at Eastie's Woodshop. And you think I missed somebody, but I didn't. Wes Willard upgraded from a cocker to a power cocker.
At
So he is
Wes.
going to be the first person that gets access to that quarterly video chat with
I
us.
like
So
it.
if you
I
want to
like it.
join Wes, you got to upgrade, become a power cocker.
Become a power guy.
But so again, that's patreon.com/off the cut
Okay.
podcast. Everything goes directly back into this podcast. We haven't taken home a dime of that money.
Yeah.
We appreciate your support, and you get to listen to us talk more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But actually have something that I do really want to talk about in the after show.
Oh.
And what if I told you that there is an app or a service that would fix you getting blocked out of all your social accounts?
Oh.
Because
Okay.
there is.
Okay. Okay. Are you gonna
But
save
we'll
that for?
save that for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
show.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay.
I feel like there's one more announcement that still
Did I miss
needs.
something?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, the biggest announcement of them all. I'm back on Instagram, baby.
Oh, not that. We've already covered that.
oh.
We talked about that last week.
No, did we talk about that with J Cats?
Yeah, and I think maybe even the week before.
Oh,
Well, you said
okay.
you
Well,
got
yeah,
it.
I'm back on Instagram.
Yes, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
officially
You're
100% back
you,
on Instagram.
you know what I think it was? Before you were back on, you could log into your account, but or you couldn't. What was it? You had the account was back, but you couldn't log into it.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I noticed you're posting, and you renamed your new one to Spenceley Design Backup, which I liked. I thought that was funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because I realized that if somebody would go and type in Spenceley Design,
Mm-hmm.
that would be the first one that showed up and not my main account. So I had to make my backup account
Yes, understood.
basically come like secondary if you'd search it.
Yes,
That
you
makes
want it to,
sense?
like alphabetically comes. I actually have no idea how the Instagram search works, like how it
I don't know how
prioritizes.
Instagram works.
Yes. Oh, I'm having a really fun Instagram glitch right now. Anytime I post a reel with music, it when I do the preview, it's all fine. But then when I actually post it, it replaces the music with static.
I didn't have that. I had one where no matter how I would like frame my reel,
Mm-hmm.
it would automatically like zoom out and make it like
Oh,
super,
that's
super like
hilarious.
widescreen. Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I still think you're forgetting an announcement though.
Am I?
Yeah.
What did I forget?
The
Give me a
windbreakers.
hint. Oh yeah. So thank you. So we've been having this running joke for what, like 30 some episodes.
Yeah, pretty
about
much.
how we need to get windbreakers.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody on Patreon, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Craig or something, was razzing, left some snotty comment about, and I'm joking, left a snotty comment about the fact that he's still waiting on his windbreakers. So I got off my sorry butt and I went and designed us some windbreakers.
Mm-hmm.
So
They look
now
awesome.
you can go, they look pretty nice, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. They're champs. They're great. It's nice.
It's a nice windbreaker.
I'm really pumped on it.
Yeah, you can go link in the description to pick up a windbreaker for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they look expensive, but I'm genuinely telling you, we make like $4 on these windbreakers. So like I tried to set it to the point where depending on where you lived, we just don't lose money on
Okay, gotcha.
it. Like Zach, I'm telling you, we're not, that's why I didn't feel bad just putting it on my website, because we're not profiting anything from these windbreakers.
Okay, I want you to guess which color I'm gonna get.
Ooh, are you going camo?
Of course I'm going camo.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know what I think is so weird, and forgive me, I'm making a cocktail while we do this to celebrate.
Oh man, I kind of want to go get a cocktail now.
Making a gin and tonic right now.
Ooh, nice.
I don't understand why on those online services that make all of these, it gives you like the option of like, what colors do you want to offer? Why the hell would I not click all of them?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're like morally opposed to camo, you're like, oh, it promotes violence.
Sure.
I get it.
Or like if your logo just like really clashed with it, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I guess I could see that. But who cares if somebody wants to buy it and have like a clashing logo? Go for it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
How does the return policy work on dropship stuff?
Great question. No idea. What do you got there? Oh, what is that gin not clear?
It's a bourbon barrel gin.
Oh, you told me about this stuff.
It's lovely.
You're draining that bottle, aren't you?
She's dead. And because I thought that might happen, Brought a backup too, so I can finish the cocktail.
Wait, you can't mix the bourbon barrel gin and
Sure, I can,
the and the juniper gin.
but there we go. I'll get our tonic water. We're ready to rock.
Mhm, mhm.
So let's see. I think we got through all of our housekeeping things.
Yeah, I think
Any
so.
any specific things that you wanted to talk about before we get into? I wrote down some ideas of things, but
Uh,
I'll
I
let you go first.
no, I got, I have, one that I wanna talk to you about in the after show, but do we have any I think we have some questions left, from a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
So
got some patron questions and
let's
stuff.
get some of these regular questions out first. Oh shit! There's explicit. I forgot that I didn't bring a bottle opener, so I'm gonna be trying to hack away at this bottle for the next
What kind of
um
bottle? Hold it up. Is it just a tonic water bottle?
tonic water bottle. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you need, like, keys to pry or just put it on the edge of your desk and hit it really hard.
yeah. It's made out of plywood, so that's not. That's a good idea. Let's hit some regular people questions.
Okay,
So
okay, normies.
this one is normies. Grayport Woodco.
Okay.
What ways have you found successful for getting client work?
Okay. I mean, I guess you're talking like woodworking.
I would say
Um,
so.
I mean, it really helps if you have a big Instagram account that gets a lot of exposure. I I have people ask me all the time to make stuff for them. But honestly, I would say
I got
uh
the cap off.
nice. Go upstream. I think we've talked about this before, but I would try and get hooked up with like a designer or somebody who like decorates restaurants.
Mhm.
Somebody who the clients go to already who can feed you work. So try and think like, most normal people, most normies are not going to go on Google and search like custom woodworking. They are
No.
probably going to talk to a designer or an architect or somebody who specializes in the design aspect of things. So I would try and start building a relationship with those people. Even just like print out like a bunch of your best woodworking pieces, go meet that person, shake their hand, put the pictures in their head like, "Hey, I do cool woodworking stuff. Here's some
Yeah.
examples of my best pieces. If you ever have the opportunity, I would love to work with you." And
Yes.
maybe butter them up and be like, "I really like your work, et cetera, et cetera."
Give them a free cutting board or like something like that.
Great idea. Great
Yeah.
idea. Here's a little sample for for your time. Even like, dude, go above and beyond. Be like, here's a coffee table that you can put in the lounge of your office or something like that, right?
Now, that would be killer. I
Yeah.
mean, that's gonna be a huge expense, but
Yeah.
I mean, that'll definitely get you out to somebody.
But if there's like
And
somebody you really want to make a good impression with, like go above and beyond and just try and create
yeah,
that relationship.
no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a video on this whole topic. I'm gonna do I told you I'm doing the pricing video about how to
Yes.
price your stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm also gonna do a video kind of related to that. It might come out like right afterwards because
Okay.
it'd be similar.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something along the lines of like why your products aren't selling.
Ah, I
And we'll
like it.
kind of have tips of like where and how to sell your stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so I could let me briefly highlight those points.
Yeah.
Number one, no one knows that you're woodworking. So,
Uh
like, if you never tell your family, you never tell coworkers,
oh, I see.
you never tell
Yeah.
your acquaintances, people you on your rec league.
Yeah.
If no one knows that you woodwork, like, no one's ever going to ask you. What happened? Did I lose you?
Just for a second, you're fine. Keep going.
Uh oh. Am I good?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
So, if no one knows that you woodwork, then no one's going to ask you.
Yeah.
And then two is if once people know that you woodwork, they're going to say, well, can I see what you got?
Mhm.
And you're not just gonna carry like a Rolodex of photos with you.
Yeah.
You have to have some like have a website, have an Instagram where you can show off your skills, right?
Yeah, and I think actually to just piggyback on that for a second, you don't. I said earlier, it helps if you have a big social media account, even if you have a small one, but it's just filled with a bunch of banger photos of stuff that you've done. Like
Right.
treat your social media like a portfolio that you can easily show to other people.
Right. And it's not that awkward like you're hanging out, with whoever and they're like, "Oh, let me see what you got." And you're like, "Okay, here's my like photos on my phone. swipe to the right, and then you're like, "Oh, no, no,
Oh,
no,
no, no, no,
no,
no,
don't
yeah.
swipe that far. Too far.
Yeah.
Those are my
Yes.
burlesque photos." Like, if you just be like, "Oh, here's my Instagram," like, boom, send it to them, and they're like, they can just be on a safe platform and see
Exactly,
everything.
exactly. No, no need to worry about your burlesque photos popping up.
No. No, those are in a hidden folder anyway.
Yeah. That's a
But
separate Instagram account for me.
Zach's, I don't know,
Yeah,
Zach's cheeks. Zach's underscore cheeks. Zach builds cheeks.
no, Zach dances.
Zach dances. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But so then like let's say you tell people you have some sort of portfolio, you still can't get anything. It's possible within reason that your photos suck. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you just take some like god off like if you take a potato and take a photo with a potato and it's like grainy and like nobody can see. I get that. That was a pun for woodworking. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
intend that. But like if your photo looks terrible and people look at it and they're like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
doesn't look great."
Photos make a difference. It's about, I don't know, it's all about first impressions. If you take a photo and it's just very clinical and bland, it's not going to show your work in the best light. I mean, ideally you're trying to evoke some sort of emotion with a photo or tell some sort of story with a photo, which is it's a little bit of a skill, but you can definitely learn it. It does not take that long to learn. Just watch a couple YouTube videos on it.
No, absolutely. Like, I mean, like you're fantastic at taking photos.
You dude.
And uh but you don't need like I don't need to get to that level. I can just
Yeah,
take
especially
some
these days.
right.
Yeah.
Like my suggestion that always works for me, and I know it's kind of like the brute force method, is if I'm going to take a photo of something that I've built, I will literally take 2 to 300 photos.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I go, is this one better or worse? I'm like,
Yeah.
I like that one better.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I just delete and I pare it down.
Yeah.
And you'll start to realize you're like, oh, I actually took some really good
Yeah.
photos
Yeah,
by
that's
accident.
yeah. And
And
when you hit on those good photos, try and think like what makes this, what do I like about this? And then save that for the next time you're going and
mhm,
doing a bunch of photos. Yeah.
it's definitely a brute force method, but it's kind of like self-teaching you and you'll
Yeah.
figure out like what you liked. Oh, I kind of liked how like this piece was kind of like not in the dead center, but it was kind of like off center. Like
Yeah.
you'll start to notice these small trends and you'll get better at it.
Yes. And also, no shame in just copying somebody else. Go look
Hell no.
go look at Instagram, look at some photos, like some furniture photos or whatever it is you're making. Be like, "Oh, that's a nice photo." Be like, "Okay, so how can I recreate a photo like this, but instead of having that person's art, it's my art or my piece or
Right.
whatever it is, right?"
Right.
Yeah. Just yeah, you will learn so much by trying to recreate other people's photos. It's insane.
Yeah. And also, like, if you say you built a dining chair and you found uh some creator that photographed dining chairs on Instagram, you're like, man, I love that photo, and you literally like print the photo out and like, okay, move my camera over just a
Yeah.
little bit, okay, here, now I'm literally copying the photo.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
My next tip that I always tell people is if they've done all that, they got wicked photos and they still can't sell anything. Well, either that you just haven't done it long enough, or I I always feel bad saying this. Maybe you're not making anything that's like unique.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. Like I don't know. I see this a lot and like, just scrolling through Instagram and stuff like that and looking at other social medias. Some these days you kind of have to make a little bit of a splash with your projects. They have to be
Yeah.
something that's like attention grabbing, especially if you're trying to create like a portfolio of work or something like that. Unfortunately, it's not just enough to have good workmanship these days to be able to create something that's kind of plain looking but really well made. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to have something where like my go-to is always like cutting boards or those like wooden welcome signs because
Yeah.
I think it's a low barrier of entry kind of product that a lot of
Mhm.
people would try to sell. If you throw up a cutting board or a wooden welcome sign on Etsy and it looks like every single other person's, you're just going to get lost in the weeds.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunately because it's like a low barrier to entry, it's a relatively simple project to do. There's going to be a lot of
Mhm.
competition and yeah, you're going to get lost in that crowd.
Yeah.
So, I think the best way and there are ways around that, you can try to compete on price, but I think we've talked about that enough on this podcast that
Yeah.
most regular listeners will know that Eric and I do not suggest you try to go for low cost items when you're first starting out because it's
You
incredibly
always
hard.
go high.
Yeah, yeah. I would say invest like try to find some way to differentiate yourself above the other people's products and then charge a premium above what they're charging.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. And so that's that. I'm glad you said that. That is literally my like last and final tip. If you did all those other things, you can't sell anything. I always tell people that you're pricing your products wrong.
Yeah.
And the response I always get is, "Oh, so I should lower my price?" And I go, "No. I would tell you to double your price.
Mhm.
Say you're selling one of those wooden welcome signs. Everybody's selling it for like 60 to $70. I would tell you sell it for like 125 or 150
Yeah.
because someone is going to look at it and go, "Oh, this one's a lot more expensive.
What's
This
the
person really knows what they're doing or they're providing me a lot more value."
Yes. People use price as a proxy for quality, especially on the internet, right? Because you can't
Mhm.
hold a sign if you're buying something like, cutting board or welcome sign. You're not going to be able to accurately assess the quality. No matter how good your pictures are, it's going to be really
No.
tough to get a good sense of the quality of the product. But people will just look at, okay, sign A is $100, sign B is 150. It might be 50% better. Like they assume that you have more information than they do in your pricing because like
Accordingly.
accordingly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Even if it's the exact same thing.
And sometimes you get these people who just like to brag about how much money they spent on something. Be like, you see this
Yeah.
see this cutting board? $500. And
Yeah, no, I've got a family friend like that. It was one that I built, way back in the day, an easel for.
Ooh.
He reached out to me, he was like, "Hey," I know he doesn't listen to the podcast. He was like, "Hey, I want you to build this easel for my wife. We're making her like a she shed so she can
Mm-hmm.
like go on the backyard and like do all of her crafts and stuff." And he goes, "I want you to make her a real nice easel." And I know this guy, and I'm thinking like, dude, he is coming to me because he wants to get her just, like, blow you out of the water easel, so I was
Yeah.
like, "I could make you that easel for, like, $1,500." He goes, "Great. Can you
Perfect.
have it done by Christmas?" Dude, I didn't spend more than $60 on wood for this thing,
Yeah.
and
Hey, I
it's, like,
mean,
the most basic easel thing in the world, like, I felt like a dick, but, like,
uh, but
you
that
know?
sometimes that's what people want, Like, do you think a dominatrix feels bad when she's beating one of her clients?
Oh my god, I know what you've been watching on Netflix recently.
Yeah. That's my other
Um
other Instagram account.
Zach
Punishes.
dominance. Zach punishes. Mm,
Oh God.
but, what were we talking about? Selling stuff?
Pricing. Might got to price high. Talking about selling stuff.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, if you try it or hold on, before I get there. Another fantastic one is if you have a metal shop
Hmm.
anywhere in your area, like,
Hmm.
place like a metal fabricator. Do you know how many people are going to that metal fabricator and going, "Hey, can you make me a dining room table?" And they go, "I mean, I can make a base."
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you go in there
Oh,
and you're
I see
like,
what you're
"Hey,
saying. Yeah.
I'm your wood guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will make, um, I'll make your wood slab for
Mm-hmm.
that base." Now you make that partnership with the metal
Mm-hmm.
shop.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
I'll do one up from that too. Is go to your local lumber mill. Like the place where I get
Mm,
all my wood from, they actually do custom furniture if you ask nicely, but a lot of time they're too busy. So give them your
mhm.
card and say, "Hey, if you have any overflow work that you don't want to do, or you have somebody coming in looking for a custom piece, send them my way."
Yeah, we actually have at, um, so I have a woodcraft, and then I I don't think I've ever been to woodcraft. I have woodcraft, and I have my, like, hole in the wall, like, rough sawn lumber mill place. I
Okay.
love that place.
Yeah,
That's my go-to place. It's called Almendinger. It's
good
out in the
name.
middle of nowhere. But the other place I have is called Woodworks. And inside of Woodworks is where they have a Rockler store. So it's like 2 stores in one.
Okay, gotcha.
At Woodworks, when you check out, they have this big, like, cork bulletin board,
Yeah.
and they have it's almost like a classifieds thing.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
be like, Jenny does live edge slab tables, Mark does steel bases, like
Mhm.
all this stuff. Like
Mhm.
try to get your name on
Yep.
that list or whatever.
Yep. And a couple don'ts, I don't know. I would avoid throwing up like a Craigslist ad or anything like that. You're just going to get bottom
Facebook
feeders.
Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace, you're
Yeah.
just going to get bottom feeders all day long, lowballing you, trying to get a deal. I
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth the hassle.
The one thing going along with that that I think is the hardest for people, especially when they start out,
Mhm.
is it's really hard to say no to a sale.
Right. Right.
So, like, if you got a cutting board and you're like, this $200 cutting board, and somebody reaches out to you and they go, "Can you do this for 70?"
Mhm.
And you're thinking, like, okay, could I do it? Like, can I do all this stuff?
Yeah.
Don't do it. You're going to regret it.
Yeah.
I've done that and I hated myself for it.
Yes. The one exception to that I will say is if you're first starting out and you're trying to build a portfolio and you know you're just going to eat a pile of crap when you're first starting out. I mean, like all my first YouTube videos. I did all of those as at a loss. I paid for all the
Yeah.
material, I paid for all the filming equipment because I knew I was building to something,
You're
right?
building a brand. Yeah.
Yeah, I had like a long-term vision for it. So if you're first starting out like and you need to build a portfolio and somebody's like, "Hey, I will cover the cost of all the materials for this build and I'll give you a couple $100 at the end." Like it
Yeah.
might be worth it. But if that's kind of a question or like, a judgment call you have to make. If you're beyond that, if you have a good solid portfolio, don't take these bottom feeders, stick to your
Agreed.
guns on your price.
S So there was a patron, I believe it was a patron, oh god, 10, 15 episodes ago that had asked a question. They're asking about Jason from Bourbon Moth, about
Mm-hmm.
his they were like, "What do you think about his procedure?" So I
Yeah.
went and watched his video about it.
Yeah.
What he did when he started out, because he used to be full-time custom furniture maker.
Okay.
His, like, kind of foot in the door thing to get himself clients was he started I think he called I'm butchering it. It was called, like, custom for cost. So
Uh,
he basically did some sort
right.
of, like, raffle thing where he's like, "Hey, everybody submit your ideas. I'll
Mm-hmm.
pick
Mm-hmm.
a couple ideas." And he basically made every single person their custom piece at the cost. He made 0 money on it.
Yeah.
And then he got a professional photographer to photograph everything so he could make this, like, really nice looking portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're starting out woodworking as a hobby, I think that is a phenomenal place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good idea. And I think he also built a little bit of an email list from that and a few other things, right? There was definitely
Yeah, I think an
yeah.
email list came from that, and
So yeah, that's a good idea. A little bit of like some sort of promotion or special or raffles, a good way to, at least drum up a little bit of interest in your brand when you're first starting out.
for sure. But then I guess the last point I wanted to make on this is don't think that strictly selling your stuff is the only way you can make money woodworking with what you like.
Mhm.
Because that's how I thought I was going to start. And then I got into the content thing kind of by accident, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And I found this personally more enjoyable for me.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that I think a lot of people need to hear is that life is, kind of crazy and it can take unexpected turns.
Yeah.
And if you're doing something and it's not working for you, consider making some sort of pivot. Like if you've been trying to
Yeah.
sell the same cutting boards for a long time and they're just not moving, it might be time to try something else. You
Yeah.
know, a new
Or try
product,
selling it in a different way.
try selling it in a different way. Don't be too stubborn. Like you might have a vision for how your business is going to look. Don't be too married to that vision because it might just not work. And that's
Yeah.
no matter what business you're in, I think that's a valuable lesson. You just got to constantly be pivoting. You have to go with the flow. Whatever works, you're going to hit on something at some point. If you keep on changing things up, you're going to hit on something at some point that works, and that's going to inform you, and you're going to be keep going in that direction. And then you're going to have another little pivot, and it's you just got it's experimentation and trying to find what works all the time.
No, 100%. I mean, I know I've talked about this on the podcast before when I first said that I wanted to start some sort of woodworking business. I was talking to my dad and he goes, "Well, what's going to be different about you?" And I was like, "I'm going to do custom furniture at an affordable price."
Yeah.
I definitely don't do that now.
Yeah. So
You
it's
just can't be afraid to pivot.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like yeah. It's you got
I
to
feel like
be
who
loose on your
who
feet.
was that? That was Grayport Woodco.
Yeah.
That's you got your money's worth,
Oh,
all
dude, we just talked about that
$0
for
on.
20 minutes or something.
Yeah. Well, you
Okay.
wanna hit another question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's hit another one.
This is a little more lighthearted. Let me get a sip here.
Yeah, I need to get a cocktail for the after show.
You're gonna need one. Uh, Dan Ingram.
I know that name.
Dan. Actually, before I get that, I want to hit a hot one because
Okay.
Corey Duvall hit us with a bunch of hot ones.
Oh,
Corey Duvall wants to know what's your favorite local restaurant?
I guess that's more aimed at you because he lives near you, does he not?
Yeah, but there are probably people in Toronto that listen.
Oh, okay, okay.
We
Yeah,
got
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
30% of our listeners are in Canada.
Really?
Let me check. Talk
Okay.
about your restaurant and I'll look it up.
Oh man, what's my favorite local restaurant? Well, it's this little Mexican place called Taco Bell.
The cheese it. The
Yeah,
cheese
the
it thing.
cheese it thing. I'm trying to think what is my favorite local restaurant. Oh man,
14%, I'm sorry. In Canada.
14%. Okay. Um, Geez, do you know one off the top of your head? Like, if you can answer,
Yes.
I'm just struggling here. I need to.
Okay.
I need a second.
So my favorite place and oh, oh no, I lost it. My favorite place is a small pizza. It, it's not a pizza chain. It's a mom and pop place. It's a
Mhm.
small pizza place called Tommy's Pizza. It's still to this day, and I don't know about in Canada. In Columbus, I'm pretty sure they outlawed smoking in restaurants in like
Um,
2002,
yeah, something like that
2003,
up here too.
somewhere in that range. So you're about the same.
Hmm.
You walk in there, it still reeks of cigarettes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You
And
never get
like,
that smell out.
no,
You have to strip a
no.
place down to the studs.
Yeah, you burn this place down. But that pizza place is the best pizza. The people that work there are rude as hell.
That's how you know
But
it's good
every
pizza.
time you get a pizza, you're just like, son of a bitch, this is it. You won't
uh,
go wrong with a good Tommy's pizza.
I got one. This I don't know that this is okay. I have two actually. So if you're looking for some good gutter Chinese food,
Oh,
there's this place in Toronto called New Ho King that I absolutely love, and I go there every New Year's Day. I try and go with a bunch of my friends. Like, the day after New Year's Eve, everybody's hungover. We get like a big giant platter of food. It's great.
it's $3.
Yeah, a little bit more than that, but it is definitely on the cheaper side of things. And then there's also a jerk chicken place actually near the job site that I'm working on right now called Albert's, and it is
Okay.
fantastic jerk chicken. It's just so good. You get some red beans, you get some rice, and then just a big pile of jerk chicken on the top, and it's fantastic.
It
Always,
sounds amazing.
there's always a lineup out the door for it, no matter what time of day
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I dig it. I
yeah,
dig it.
yeah.
There's we got a good Chinese place over by me. It's called Soy Food Soy. Joy Food One,
Okay.
and it is delicious.
Nice. Do the Asian restaurants in Columbus do pun names? I've noticed a lot of Toronto Asian cuisine does
Sometimes.
they do puns. So there was one near my university called Taiwan On, and it was Thai food, obviously. There was also
Oh.
a place called a Chinese food place called Walk and Roll. Um, I'm trying to think of some other good ones I've seen, but yeah, there's a lot of the Asian cuisine has puns in the name.
We've got one. So our area code is 614,
Hmm.
and there's a I always forget. I think it's Thai place. It's called 614, but really it's Fa,
Yeah, yeah, pho.
but they call it
Yeah,
614.
yeah. I like
That's
that you
clever.
wait, Vietnamese.
Vietnamese, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah,
yes,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, how close are you to Mississauga? You're like
Eh,
what, 20 minutes away? Half hour?
yeah, I drove to yeah, probably 30 minutes. I actually drove to Mississauga on Tuesday night, and that's why we couldn't record on a normal night.
Okay, so there is a hole in the wall place in Mississauga.
Ooh, look this up.
There are two places. One is it's right off of Matheson. It's
Okay.
by the Iceland, like that like 6 or 8
Yeah,
sheet ice
yeah.
rink thing. It's called Jesse's.
Okay.
It's a Greek restaurant that's a complete hole in the wall.
Oh, yeah.
It's delicious.
There's a whole little neighborhood in there's like a little Greek town or whatever you want to call it here in Toronto. There's a whole bunch of Greek
Yeah,
restaurants. There's some good places in there. There's one called Astoria that I go to quite a bit. It's very good Greek food.
Astoria.
Yeah.
What do they have? Is it Indian?
No,
Greek?
no, 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 it's Greek. It's Greek. It's
Okay. Okay.
like your souvlaki plates and stuff like that. It's
Oh,
so good. So good.
yeah. Oh, that was the first time I ever had Greek food. I went to this place and I was like, this place is amazing.
I had a Greek friend in high school, and he told me that the trick to finding a good Greek restaurant is to go to ones that don't have Greek in the name.
Jesse's.
Yeah, Jesse's great. Astoria is great, but in Toronto, there's a whole bunch of chains. There's Mr. Greek. There's
We have Mr. Greek here,
okay, yeah, yeah, and
I think.
there was a couple other like Greek restaurants with Greek right in the titles. Like you just can't go to any of those ones because it's not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one of my other favorite places to go when I was up there, but don't judge me. It was right after I got done with hockey camp. So, like, I've just burned a million calories and I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
need like a calorie circus.
Yeah, it needs a carb load.
Yeah. Mandarin Buffet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, so it's good. You like that place?
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. It's if you want to get a whole lot of Chinese food for not that much money, it is the
But
place to
dude, you
go.
can get like crab
Yeah.
legs and sushi and
Yeah.
everything. And
Yeah.
it's like what, like 20, I think it was like 25 bucks when I was there, but it's probably a
Yeah.
little more now.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't been in a while. Ooh, another good one. Korean barbecue. It doesn't really matter which one. There's a bunch of
Hmm.
Korean barbecue places, but they have all you can eat, and they just bring you like you have a grill in the middle of your
Yeah.
table, and they just bring you meat, and you cook it yourself. It's fantastic. There's a whole bunch of them in Toronto.
Okay. Dude, I'm all on Korean barbecue. So
Yeah.
in this actually goes great because this is a food question.
Okay.
This comes from Dan Ingram, who's in the UK.
Okay. What
And
is?
Dan says, "What?
I know the name. Has he asked questions in the past?
Yes,
Okay.
he's one of
Okay.
our patrons.
Oh, he's one of our patrons. Oh, okay.
Come
I thought
on."
no. I thought you said we were doing normie questions.
No, we have one more normie question, but I don't want that one. I don't
Okay,
want to do
okay.
that one right
That's
now.
why I know the name. Okay, sorry, Dan.
Dan Ingram says, I have a question for you. Probably more of an after show topic.
Oh.
Well, Dan, you made it to the main show, my man. I'm a big food fan. Burgers, pizzas
Mhm.
being some of my favorites.
Mhm. Nice.
We do pizza very well here in the UK.
Oh,
Lots of wood fired pizza oven places that, excuse me, do fantastic pizza.
yeah.
Burgers, on the other hand, we're way behind the times.
Huh.
It's pretty much just McDonald's and Burger King, although we do have Five Guys nationwide now and some Shake Shacks, but they're
Okay.
only in London
Oh,
and they never really taste as good as the ones that I've had in the US.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what are your favorite burger places, maybe just place? And do Canadians compare in the burger game?
I think we've got some pretty good burger places here in Toronto anyways.
Okay.
My friend once found this article that was like the 50 best places in Toronto. And
Did you go to
we didn't go to all of them. And okay, so first of all, here's how low our self-esteem was. We started at number 50. We didn't go to no we
get
were like,
that garbage burger?
yeah, exactly. We like we were like, let's start at the bottom and work our way to the top. Anyways, I think around like 45, we're like, screw this. Let's go to like number one and work our way back
Yeah.
down the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there definitely are some good burger places here in Toronto. But I have noticed what Dan's saying. A lot of the chains, like we got a Chick-fil-A here in Toronto recently, and
Hmm.
it's not as good as the Chick-fil-A that I've had in the US. And I'm trying to think of
They're
even
different menu items too.
yeah. I don't know why that is, but it's never quite as good as when it's in the home market, so to speak.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. I'm trying to think
Um,
if you're in
can you
Toronto.
think of any names right off the top of your head? A good
No.
burger spot?
Oh man. Okay, you talk for a second. I'm gonna look on my phone real quick because there are a couple that are quite close to me that I want to shout out.
Okay. First one, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, which is a thriving metropolis, there's nothing to look at, but you got to come here. There's a place about 10 minutes away from my house that's called Flipside.
Ooh, good
And what
name.
Flipside does is it's pretty much all burgers.
Hmm.
And all of them are very they have such a like a wide variety of like really weird to very normal. Like you could get like a barbecue burger that might have like brisket on it. You could get like a breakfast burger that would have like bacon and eggs and stuff on it. Like
I I'm a
all kinds of stuff like
I'm a
that.
sucker for an egg on a burger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's delicious.
it really
But
is.
if you're looking for just a garbage burger, there's a
No, I
place.
am.
Um again, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, it's kind of in Hilliard area. It's called Johnny's on the Track. And if you look at this place from the outside, it looks like a meth house. Like you look at you look at it and you think you're gonna die if you go to this place. And it's literally right next to a train track.
That's
Um,
awesome.
great burgers, super cheap. Johnny's on the Track.
Okay, I like that. So I looked up the one that's right near me. It's called the Bulgur.
The Bulgur.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have like a bull is their logo. It's right around the corner from my house. They weren't the ones to pioneer this, but it's probably one of the best examples I've had of it. They take a burger and they replace the buns on the top and the bottom with grilled cheese sandwiches.
Son of a bitch.
So it's grilled cheese, patty, cheese, bacon,
Oh
another
my
patty,
god.
cheese, bacon, grilled cheese.
All right. Anyone who's listening to this needs to Google the Bulger,
Hmm.
BULLGER.ca. And the stuff that comes up on that menu will blow your tits off.
Looks pretty good, right?
Okay, I think you win the burger game. You win the burger game.
There was okay. So real quick, there was this burger place in Toronto that was really good. It was called the Burger's Priest, and they had like all these
Okay.
like religious themed burgers. And that was the first place that I ever had a cheese grilled cheese as replacing the bun. But then they sold the brand to like some big food conglomerate, and it became a chain, and the quality went downhill real
Yeah, I see
quick.
that there's like 1,000 of them in the Toronto area.
For like 30 years there used to be only one, and then overnight there were
Mm.
so many of them. So that's my like hipster take on that is it went corporate and it's not as good anymore.
But they on Google it says their like little slogan is a cozy pit stop for gourmet burgers.
Yeah, that's straight up corporate speak.
Yeah, that's too bad. There's another burger place. Dude, you have them like every couple
Yeah,
blocks.
there's a lot of burger places in Toronto.
Okay, there's another burger place in Columbus that's famous that you might have heard of if you ever watched like any of the Food Network stuff. I've never been to it.
Okay.
It's called Thurman's.
Oh, I haven't heard of this.
And their biggest or like they're like they have like a burger challenge thing that's called the Thurminator.
Oh, ooh.
And I guess if you like finish this burger in a whatever period of time you get some kind of prize. But
Okay.
that place is supposed to be really good, but I've never been there.
Okay. Well, I think you know what your next date night's gonna be.
But that's the problem is this is one of those places that's so popular just because of like pop
Oh,
culture. They don't take reservations.
I hate
So if
these
you go,
restaurants.
they try to be cool, right? We don't
Yeah.
take reservations. So you could go there and wait like 2 or 3 hours to get a hamburger.
No, no way. No food is worth waiting 2 hours for.
No.
Because here's how I do it. If I know I'm going out for dinner, I purposely don't eat ahead of time so that I'm good and
Yeah.
hungry when I get to the restaurant so that I enjoy
Thank you.
it as much as possible. And so I'm not
Like,
going to I'm not just going to show up and be hungry and have to wait 2 or 3 hours. It's ridiculous.
right. Like I didn't eat lunch today
Yeah.
because last night I had well, we had to move the podcast. You had to move it because you were doing something on Tuesday, and they were like, "Can we
Yeah.
do it Wednesday?" And I was like, "I can't do it Wednesday because my parents are coming over for dinner, and I make spaghetti and meatballs. That's one of my favorite things to make.
Mhm.
But I have leftovers, so I'm gonna have it again tonight. I didn't eat lunch today. That way, I can just slam some spaghetti and meatballs later.
Do you make your own meatballs?
Oh, of course.
Okay, okay. Just check it. Just
Yeah,
check it. Just
made
check it.
5 pounds of meatballs.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do we
So I'm
have time
excited.
to squeeze in? We're running 56 minutes here on the live stream. What
Oh
do you
yeah, we
think?
got time.
Yeah, we got time. All right.
Let's hit another hot one from Corey Duvall.
Okay.
When are those windbreakers coming? Buddy, they are already out, and the one that you ordered is on its way to your
Oh, did
house.
Corey already order one?
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome. I gotta.
Got a navy, size large.
I'll talk to you off air because I think last time I think I ordered your T-shirt off your website, and I think it was like $25 or something like that. Anyways, by the time it got across the border, it was like close to $100. So
What?
yeah, I got like double screwed on it. It was like conversion and then duty and then shipping. It was a
Oh,
lot. So I got to yeah.
whoa. Holy dude, come on. I would have sent you that money.
Well,
You
no,
should
no,
have
no,
told me.
no. But you had no control over it. It's just however your store's set up. So we'll talk off air because I desperately want a windbreaker, but I don't want a $300 windbreaker.
I'm pretty sure I can just go through like the printful thing and
Yeah.
just send it directly to you.
Okay. Okay. Cool. We'll figure it out.
But I thought the shipping was only like $6 or $7 or something.
What I don't know. It ended up being quite a lot. Maybe it wasn't 100, but it was like definitely 80 or $90.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize for that.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's just the border, man. It's brutal.
Okay. Another hot one.
Okay.
Corey Duvall. Any plans before the summer ends? This is wide
Oh,
open.
well, I mean, I think it might technically be fall now, but
I think you're right.
I didn't do any outdoor projects this year, which yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't make great use of this summer, and I say that at the end of every summer like, "Damn, I should have got out there and done more outdoor activities and stuff like
Yeah.
that." Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have any, unfortunately. What about you? You got anything?
The only thing I want to do is we've got this brewery that's like 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
The people who own the brewery, it's on this like big farm, so they're like 40 acres, and like they have a bunch of different each bar serves the same beer, but they have a bunch of different bars stationed across like their property. So you
Very
just like
cool.
walk around the farm.
Yeah.
They got like a little pond and stuff, and it's just a really nice place to just kind of go hang out on a summer night. We haven't done that yet. We need to get back out there.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. I like that.
I also need to go fishing. Haven't gone
Oh
fishing.
yeah, I didn't go fishing. I told you I rented a houseboat with a bunch of my buddies at the beginning of
Yeah.
the. We all brought fishing rods and we didn't even touch them once. So I was talking to my friends about doing a little fishing trip before sometime in the fall. Like rent a cottage, bunch of guys, get a bunch of beer, just somewhere with a dock and
Right.
cast off the end
Right.
of the dock. Yeah.
Hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing is not about actually fishing.
No, not at all.
It's about just sitting, chatting with the guys, and slamming a couple beers.
Mhm. Speaking
If you
actually,
catch a fish, it is what it is.
my I was speaking of my apprentice guy earlier. He went down to New York to do fishing. I think he went out to like Long Island and chartered
Huh?
a boat, and
Yeah.
he said he caught like 70 fish in a day. It's like, you
Did
son
you
of a
use a
bitch.
grenade?
Yeah, I think he must have. Well, he had like
See?
a guide that showed him where to go. So I
No,
guess, yeah,
that's cheating.
they had like the radar on the boat too. He told me they went 3 miles off the coast,
Oh.
so pretty far out
Oh.
there.
I went deep sea fishing one time with like a guide and stuff.
Yeah.
And our the rods that we sent down there, I guess the line had like 8 hooks on it, and on each hook they'd put a
Oh.
shrimp,
Oh wow.
and it would come you'd send it down, and as soon as you like felt it go loose at the bottom,
Yeah.
you'd pull it up and you literally had 6 to 8 fish on your line.
Wow. Holy crap. Yeah.
Like it was cool, but I was like, I
Yeah,
don't
I guess it
know.
kind of takes a little bit of the magic out of it, eh?
Right,
Have you
right.
ever gone ice fishing?
No.
Oh,
We definitely don't have that here in Ohio.
really? Why not? You got lakes there. You got cold weather.
Yeah, like here maybe, but I don't nobody's like setting up like tents and stuff like that.
I've done it. So I've done it a couple years where we go to like places where they actually have like cabins that are on sleds. And once the lake
Mhm.
freezes over, they drag out the cabin. They drill a hole for you, and they
Yeah.
just like they take you out there. You rent it for the day for a couple $100, and you fish with your buddies. Um, but I actually did it last year. Me and a bunch of my friends went. We again rented a cottage that had lake access, and we just went out. We augured our own hole. We had a big fire right on the right in the middle of the lake on the ice. I brought a bunch of wood scraps and garbage bags and dumped it out. We had a big bonfire. It was fun.
That seems to me it seems like, oh, you're making a fire on the ice, you're gonna melt a hole in the ice, right? But it's like feet thick.
Exactly. You could drive a truck on it. It would be perfectly fine. It's yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
had the fire
crazy.
going out there for like 3-4 hours or something like that. It melted like the top inch or two of ice and then nothing below it. So
I get it. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Well, what do you say? We hit that hour mark. What do you say
Hmm.
we head over to the after show and knock out some of these patron
Sounds
questions?
good. Sounds good. You gas up the snowmobile, head up
I'll
here.
gas up the snowmobile and we'll meet you over there. So everybody, we always appreciate you listening, even if you're patron, you're not a patron, whatever it is, we appreciate it.
Mhm.
But you should be a patron.
Yeah, you really should be a patron. Like Eric always says, don't be cheap.
Yeah, don't be cheap. So oh, and send us your voice questions because we
Ooh.
enjoy that. Just scroll to the bottom. There's a little link in the description
Yeah.
and
It's been a
record
little
your
while. We haven't
voice.
got any.
I know.
Okay.
I think Mark Alms and Craig are the only one
Only ones.
who've
Okay.
done anything.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it is what it is. So everybody else, we will see you next week if we don't see you over at the after show.
See you, everybody.
See ya.
All right, so gonna hit the stop on there. We got any mid show?
I don't know. I haven't looked at that.
Yeah, neither have I.
031.
Here we go.
Eric
Opening it up. Opening it up.
Main.
Jason. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, we missed a lot of chats.
Oh goodness gracious.
Oh, got my own voice coming through. Okay, guys, how are we going to the one where they break winds? That's not bad, Craig. That's not bad.
Ooh.